BDD hell. BDD hell. I just started a new project and all of the existing test cases are written in BDD format. I repeat, BDD format. Never used that before. What a horrible format to work with. Does anyone actually prefer this format? Well, so, how would I put this? At my current company, we use BDD for a lot of stuff, right? And before that, I was like, I didn't have anything against BDD, but I think what happened was at the company, like 2 companies before, I wanted to try to adopt BDD, and I like the engineering vice president. He was trying to get everyone to embrace BDD, and like they wouldn't. I read the book and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Wanted to give it a try. The developers were not with it and everything like that. So I was like, okay, fine. Not gonna beat a dead horse. So I never like really got, and they were doing it through Cucumber and Java. At where I'm at now, we're doing Behave with Python. But I had it did grow on me, right? It grew on me a lot because I like the fact that I can read the feature file. So for those who don't know, right, BDD stands for driven development, right? So and you write the acceptance criteria in a way that is easily understandable by people who are not technical, right? So it's written in a way that technical people can process it, but also written in a way that non-technical people can understand what the goal of the feature is, right? So it has a syntax called gherkins where so you have a feature and you describe the feature. So let's say the feature is to log in successfully on the login page, right? So now it follows the syntax of given, when, then, right? So with that syntax of given, when, then, it'll say, so given I am on the login page, right, as your prerequisites, and I have a valid credentials, or I have a valid email address and I have a valid password. When I enter the email address into the email field and I enter the password into the password field and I click on the login button, then I should be successfully logged into the My Account section, and it should show my name or my account number in the top right corner, and I should have like a sign out link, whatever the expected conditions that you want to verify, right? So it's like preconditions, then it's like the steps that you follow, and then it's like the expected conditions, right? So then is your expected conditions, your expected results, your when is your steps, and your given is your preconditions, right? So you can be able to run the test. So that being said, that's the syntax that it's written in, and it grew on me. But the thing is, right, the way that BDD was in the book, the way that it was like the way that it was intended to be used, so through the language they would use called Cucumber, when you would create that file that has like the feature file, then you should be able to automatically generate the methods, which I think that's part of like what the developers might not like, because in the names, and it might be like so much overhead for them, right? But the way that we use BDD is it's only, like from my understanding, it's only from the testing part, right? We write our test cases in a BDD format, and in that Gherkins format, and then we write our functions, our methods, with those annotations, and then like so what I was able to do with that, right? Because something that I noticed was they would reuse the steps, but I was able to simplify the steps and create methods, and then I was like, oh, I can reuse a lot of these methods into other areas, and then create. So I would create a step like in the like in the feature file, I'd create something, and then I would chain it together with a few different steps, right? That I'd just chain together, and that would be a whole separate step. So I'm able to do some really cool things with it. I don't mind it because it's just built into the system, and I like working with new technologies. Anyways, I have like it's easier for me to read, and the only problem that I kind of have with it, which it's probably just because it was initiated before I got there, but I'm probably going to clean it up at some point. Is we end up having really long files because they have all the steps thrown into one file. And I think that you have the opportunity to break it apart and to better organize it. Better organize it. So like one way is to probably have all your whens together, all of your thens together, all of your givens together as part of a different file. Or you can probably do it by the type of test that's being ran and have it that way. So there's different ways to classify it. I haven't really given it too much thought, but that's definitely a possibility. I don't have a problem with BDD. I think instead of you freaking out about it, you should do some more research on it and try it out and see if it works for you. But instead of like just calling it BDD hell, you should try to figure it out and understand the why behind it instead of just like look at the format. Understand the purpose that it was understand the purpose behind why they created it. Right. So let's get some feedback from Don. Don says, cut off a bit, but it says BDD is good for PMs, non-techie people. The report resonate well with those people instead of having a complex exception message. Yeah, that's definitely true. And I've seen that it does resonate well, right? And I like the fact that they're able to participate in the process, because part of BDD is having that trinity, right? You get the business analyst or the PM or the product owner, and then you have a developer, and you should have a QA person, right? And then they come up with like the requirements and the stories together, and then when you bring it into refinement, you go through all of that. So I totally agree with that, and it makes it, to me, like it does kind of make it easier for the outside people to understand what the outside tech people are doing. It makes them easier to understand what we're doing on the inside, right? And then Don says, perfect. Never have duplicate code. Always find ways to refactor and dry the code up. Yep, totally true. I'm always looking for that refactoring. Especially like when working with the BDD, it was just some things that I didn't know about it that like, and I saw the code. I'm like, oh, okay, let me see how I can figure that out. But I'm getting really good at it, and always looking for opportunities. I hate seeing duplicate code. It's like the plague. All right. So shout out to that. Shout out to Don as always. And we have another question resolved, checked off the list.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.